So today we're actually going to be doing another Dooa setup. So if you guys have been following along, we've done the pot now, and then it's kind of out of frame, but the 20 by 20 by 20 cube as well. And ever since I set up that 20 by 20 by 20, it's been doing fine. It's actually been growing in really well since you guys last saw it, which I probably need to do an update. But by the time you guys are watching this video, that will be tear down. So it nothing was ever wrong with it. It actually did really well. It's just I decided to do something a little different, and I still might keep that cube there. Eventually, obviously, I have set some of these other tanks that will eventually not be here no more either. So, to where maybe this 20 by 20 shallow will just be on my desk, and then the cube can actually stay up there. It just depends on everything. I really don't know yet. But ever since I did the 20 by 20 by 20, I've always really liked the shallow one, and of course with the lid on this one, the humidity, especially I used a lot of terrarium plants on that one, so I definitely needed the lid. It needed the humidity, and it just fogs up way too much. It just at the end of the day, I do like to look at it. So um so I thought this next one, do mostly aquatic plant stuff that it doesn't need a lid, doesn't need that humidity, to where it could be more open concept, and still really nice to look at. And that's kind of what I've gotten started here. And so this video won't really be a time lapse like I usually do with like hardscapes, just because this one's gonna be very, very tedious. It's gonna be a lot of moving around and doing a lot of different stuff. I kind of got the basics started just to show you guys, but then like throughout this video, every time I do something, and kind of basically the forward progress of this throughout the video, you guys will just see little clips of me explaining as best I can of everything I've been doing. But basically, I got a little C-shape pump in the back, so this is basically going to be a little waterfall setup. And so we're going to have a bit, I chose Icelandic just because of the pores and it'll stay wet. I did want to do Frodo because I thought that would look really nice. But over time, I mean, if I really want to plant this with plants and stuff like that, that Icelandic lava stone, it's porous, it's going to stay moist all the time and draw moisture. So it's just going to be a little bit better for planting anyway over time. And so the first kind of console I got, so I got the tube hung up here, just extra long, because I don't know exactly, because I still will probably build up this taller section. Obviously, I can't go too crazy. It's like, it hasn't gone over the line yet, but I just have to make sure, because it will go under that nicer Dooa stand as well. So we'll just have to make sure that, it doesn't get too where it's touching the wall, and then it's going to be off center from the light. So I just want to make sure you don't go too crazy. But the best, you guys, I don't know, well, you guys will be able to really see this. But yeah, so basically the first stone is here. Like I said, I got the pump in the back here. I try to leave room to where if something does happen, I can get back there and potentially take that pump out of there if I need to. We'll just see. Hoping there is. Biggest thing is really just the flow rate is the biggest thing, is trying to adjust that later. And on the C-Chase, really with any of them, the C-Chase especially, they're really nice pumps. Obviously, I chose that because it's going to, if this is going to be set up long term, I want a pump that's going to last a long time. But their turn dial is very, very hard to turn, especially when it gets stuck in a tight setting. So it's already tough enough to try to adjust it out in the open, let alone stuck in between a rock. So, but yeah, I put it to the second to the last, not the very last, but second last. So at least if it is a little too much, I can I can make adjustments at least to slow that down. But yeah, I got some epoxy down here to hold this, because obviously with the glass, that rock was wanting to slide. But I got this first piece of Icelandic. I thought it was the best piece that I had left that looks somewhat decent. It has kind of this already crevice. So basically what I'm thinking is I can kind of see where this waterfall can kind of go really just like this, and down, shooting down towards this corner. Basically what'll probably happen though is I have a Dremel, and I'll probably kind of go through and kind of almost make a pathway. I don't want to make it look too unnatural, but just kind of like where it kind of just guides the water in a certain direction a little bit better. Because at the end of the day, this is porous rock too, so that water's going to seep through. So that's another thing why the flow rate being a little stronger might be a little nicer, because we may lose quite a bit with this rock that we're using. Um, but there's going to be a lot of extra stones, placed in epoxy probably to this. And so what I kind of really want to do is, I like how this is going so far. So whatever we build up here will go here, here, and then I want it to basically go down all the way to the rock to maybe about here, And what I would do, I want to get maybe like a flat piece or find something I can put right in the front there where there's a drop off to where it's, you know, it's draining down the rock, but then it has a, but then the water goes through a flat piece and then free falls down back into the tank for that surface agitation. I think that would look really sick if I could pull that off. Again, some of this stuff is like, you know, you guys, sometimes you just have to have the right piece for this stuff, but hopefully without making too big of a mess, I can probably put something together. Because of course this epoxy, in doing all this work, it just gets kind of, it gets sticky and gross, and most of the time you just end up getting mad at yourself when you start doing too much. But hopefully we can really make something that isn't like too bad. Of course, epoxy we can cover up too. Also, we can drizzle super glue and put sand and rock, little pieces of rock, and you know, hide those seams. So that's no big deal. It's just getting everything in place and actually working correctly is the biggest thing. But yeah, so this video will probably be a little bit longer. I just wanted this first, you know, minutes or so. I just wanted to explain kind of what I'm thinking, what I'm gonna try to do here, and then yeah. So this video will probably be 20 minutes long, but you guys will kind of see step by step and the progress. Hopefully I don't take too long, but and to see how it turns out. But yeah, I think it'll be pretty cool. And then plant wise, I mean, I'm kind of just I will throw some of the stuff I already have grown in here that's been doing pretty good. And then I think it'd be kind of sick to do some, you know, Bucephalandra in here. I'd probably do some rare species. Honestly, probably take my brownie ghost 2011, my little trimming I have in the 45C that is doing fine, but it's I don't know if that's a tank for that. It's been acting a little weird, so maybe I can throw it in here and have it grow immersed, and it would probably definitely do fine then. So, but yeah, that makes it too long. But I'll get to working on this, and I'll just kind of show you guys update by update as I go throughout the day. So I've gotten a little bit ahead of myself, so I pretty much have already completed the main hardscape. I'm still going to tweak it a little bit. And so now I'm just going to come back to you guys and show you guys little details at a time that I'm doing. But the main rock structure I think is done. Again, I'll probably add a few more. Obviously, I'm just going to keep adding more detail from now on, but at least the main structure is done. And I actually have the waterfall up and running. So ended up epoxying up here. Like I said, there'll be pieces that will cover all this. All the blue will be covered with sand and excess rock and all that, so you won't even see any of the blue. But so yeah, it's coming down. It's coming up this first cliff, dripping down, and then the first one, it's definitely coming down, and you could see it off the second rock. It's just almost a little too strong over here, where I probably need to like make the wall a little bit more. But once I actually add the detail in the sand, that might build up a little bit more. So I think honestly that's like as good as we're really going to get down here. And I don't even know how well you guys can really even see that, but yeah, at least the main thing is this little free fall right here is like exactly what I wanted. I just wanted, you know, some type of visual waterfall. Of course, you know, seeing water seep down the rock is cool, but you know, actually having like a drop off and stuff and making it look real natural. But I did have to put poly filter and the intake just slow down a little bit. Obviously it's good over time. That pump's going to clog anyway, so having it a little bit stronger is just fine. So just shoving that polyfill in there works just fine. So yeah, I'm just gonna let it just run. And honestly, what I'll probably do now is I'll do whatever else I can. Then I'll probably just go ahead and actually see if I can run the cord through the wall. Obviously, where my cube is now, I have where the cords can actually go in the wall, behind the wall, so you don't see any cords. It also looks really clean. So hopefully I can get that cord wrapped down in there and get it out the wall and plug that in, and you know, see what it's looking like under the light. And then yeah, just put more detail. And like I said, this video is gonna be really long, so but for people that wanted something a little different, a little waterfall, that's what we're gonna do today. So yeah, so next step we'll do a little more detail, just you know, definitely make it look more prettier. And then basically Amazonia, I think I will put a substrate pretty high, at least up to this back point. The front's gonna be with plata. And honestly, I might just leave all this sand over here. I just feel like if I get, I don't know, I maybe put like a rock right here and then put a little bit of Amazonia back there too to kind of build it up. I just don't want anything getting near the pump and clogging it. So I may just have to put some poly filter and, you know, block it off some polyfill, and that should solve that problem. But yeah, I'm just going to keep working on it. I'm going to come back to you guys. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. And yeah, at the end, I'll obviously give you guys some close-ups as well, in which I can kind of give you guys a little. See, like I said, that blue will be covered up, but obviously this is the front, so this is what you'll be seeing. but it looks pretty good from like also even like this side. I think honestly, if it was on the corner, like this view right here is like perfect. But as you can see, it's like dripping at the bottom there. But I'm not too big. I mean, it's coming off this edge and coming down. I'm not, you know, too worried about it. But just that little bit of surface agitation is all I wanted. So yeah, but we'll keep on working on it, and yeah, it's just gonna get better and better with all the detail. And then of course when we put the plants there, it's really gonna pop in. So come back to you guys when we do that. So I've got the main structure basically just like I showed before, but now everything's all covered up, so it all looks like one piece now. You can't even see the tube no more. And so now I'm actually working on the bottom part here. So basically where there's filter floss here, this is just to protect the pump back there so nothing leaches back there. So you got there and there some filter floss, and where these rock barriers are going to be, there's going to be soil behind there, so that's where stuff's going to grow out here. And then the front area is actually going to be a little plot dip sand, so I got a little bit Amazonia. Still got some Amazonia version 1 powder, which will work great for this. And then yeah, basically I'm going to go ahead and plant it, but I just want to come back to you guys. But yeah, the waterfall looks great. I'll get it up and running again once I get everything all situated. But yeah, it's looking pretty good, and yeah, I think it's going to turn out great. It's just looking better and better, and I had the waterfall running earlier, and it's even more perfect now. So yeah, I'll start putting the soil in there and get sand and just come back to you guys when I do that. So I've added all the smaller details, so there could be more that I add, but this is basically just the bare minimum of what it's basically going to look like. Yeah, I got the plot, I got the Dooa river sand mixed in there with also the 88 gravel, and I got the soil piled high in both sides, and that'll just allow some mid grounds to kind of grow on the side and grow up out of the tank, and then the rest will be kind of open with the waterfall, you know, obviously shooting straight down. I don't know if the water will be too strong where it's going to push all the substrate. We'll just see, but we'll just see how that kind of turns out. But either way, it'll be fine. But yeah, that's basically, I just want to show you guys what basically kind of the complete hardscape will be. And then now it's really just up to the plants. The plants are really what's gonna really fill this thing in over time. So I'm gonna start planting it, and I'll get back with you guys. So we got it pretty much kind of halfway planted. There's a lot of stuff I'm gonna add in here that I don't have at the moment, and stuff that I'll get trimmings off of to add in here. But like some of these guys, I don't know if they'll make it, especially because they'll be kind of in water. Half of them it'll kind of be half submerged, so I don't expect them to make it. But I'm turning on that cube, so I just threw them in here. But we'll just see how they do. But everything else is aquatic here. I even put my Brownie Ghost 2011. That wasn't doing so well in one of the tanks in here, so we'll see how that grows as well. And then got some mosses, some actual Bobitis right here. This moss is really cool. It gets, see all the blue leaves, which the ones I put in here aren't the greatest example, but like they're the same species as this one. So it looks really, really nice, and I'll definitely add more of that. But that stuff grows fast enough to where, you know, just put a little bit on there and let it just see what it does. And I can always trim more off that pot if I need to add in here, but everything else looks pretty good though. You put some UG in there and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll just get it running. I'll fill it back up and get back to you guys. And then of course, like I said, just make sure you watch for an update on YouTube, because I'll definitely do an update on this one for sure, as I add more stuff to it and do more things. But I'll get it filled up and get it running and come back to you guys. So it is back up and running. So yeah, it's still doing really well. Pretty much exactly how I wanted it to do. A straight stream. But yeah, the good thing is with that filter floss that's kind of shoved in the tube, just to kind of reduce the flow a little bit. And of course, obviously over time it'll clog you more, and that waterfall will just be real settle. I like the speed of it right now, but I definitely would like it to just be a tiny bit more settle, just so it looks a little more natural. Not that the high speed doesn't look unnatural, but just for, you know, for a tiny setup like this, I think a little bit slower stream would look a little bit nicer. But that filter floss will actually help actually clean the water, which is kind of nice too. So not only will we have biological on the rock itself with the porous Icelandic, but then we'll have filter floss in that tubing that I can easily change in and out. Obviously, like unless you look really close, that's the tube right there. You can't even tell. So what's good about it is the tube's right there, so I can just pull out the filter floss real easily and replace it with a new one. So it's almost like just like an interchangeable filter, which is really nice. But yeah, it's looking pretty good though. Like I said, some of the plants may not take well to this new setup because it went from humidity to basically little to none. But this will mostly be aquatic plants this time around. So I just kind of place stuff in here that I already had, and then I'll keep adding on to it. And like I said, just watch out for updates, and definitely follow me on Instagram, because Instagram will definitely get the latest updates before YouTube ever does. But yeah, other than that, yeah, just tell me what you guys think, and I'll see you guys on the next one.